Our third speaker this evening is Chris Warford with a speech entitled Hell in High Heels. Hell in High Heels, Chris Warford.
Have you ever wondered who invented the high heel? Have you ever looked at a high heel and thought, well, that's the most ridiculous shoe in the world. Who could possibly think that this was a good idea for footwear? I have. When I was at university, I noticed there were 3 distinct phases to a girls' night out. There was phase 1, the arrival, where she would proudly strut into the bar, precariously perched atop her platform pumps. There was stage 2. After a couple of gins with cousin Sheila, her and her friends would make a pile of shoes and handbags in the middle of the floor and then dance around them like some kind of pagan ritual. And then there was phase 3, the return journey, in which she would drunkenly meander home, heels in hand. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, as a simple-minded human being, also known as a man, I didn't understand what was going on here. So I set off on a quest to find out more. Like Gandalf the Grey, I took up a flaming torch down into the vaults of the BBC's online archive to research the history of the heel. Did you know it was originally a man's shoe? It was developed in the Persian Empire where they fought on horseback riding and they needed something to keep the foot in the stirrup. So they added a heel to the shoe. That means that technically the high heel is a weapon of war. It then became fashionable with the European nobility. They raised the heel to new heights. It became completely impossible to walk in it, but that was the point. If you could wear a shoe that you couldn't walk anywhere in, it showed everyone that one was far too rich to have to walk anywhere. Walking was for peasants. King Louis XIV even banned the common folk from wearing them, reserving them exclusively for his courtiers, hence the term court shoe. So if we're dealing with a cast-off of men's fashion here, how did it become the symbol of female sexuality that it is today? Turns out that it made a return in the 19th century as a form of erotic art. After all, it is very aesthetically pleasing, as I can demonstrate. By raising up the heel, you make the legs look longer. You accentuate the calves and you clench the butt cheeks. Getting a bit excited in this corner. Let's just calm down. It's also a great chance to make a statement. You can get it in a variety of colours and styles. Stiletto, pump, block, blade or wedge. In comparison, men's shoes come in black or brown. They say to really understand someone, you have to walk a mile in their shoes. Well, I'm always up for a challenge. In this case, literally. And I should add that if I actually go head over heels at this point, that's not a humorous part of the speech. Do you find a first aider? Does my bum look big in this? The first thing you realise when you try and walk a mile in high heels is that a mile, while being not that far in a trainer, is a massive distance when you're wearing heels. And walking becomes difficult. It's not just step, step, step. There has to be technique. I have to have Bart Simpson's voice running through my head the whole time, going heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, just to stay upright. That's not even to mention the negative health impact. It really hurts your feet. It increases the chance of a sprain or a fracture. It can cause you back pain and damage your knees and other joints. So given all these drawbacks, why is it that women choose to hover in high heels while men choose practical footwear? I think it's a difference of intelligence. You see, women, they're clever. When they look at a man, they see the whole thing. They evaluate a mate based on intelligence, compassion, and personality. But men, we're victims of supernormal stimuli. The animal brain just can't tell the difference between artificial stimulus and the real thing. So when we see a woman in high heels, we don't think, that's just a cheap trick to make her legs look longer. We think, wow, look at the length of those legs. So what's to be done about this foolishness of footwear? Well, my advice is to ditch the heels in a violent and angry way, as 70s feminists would do. Ladies, if your man's only interested in you because of the length of your legs, I would suggest that he isn't a keeper. And guys, if you see a woman in flats, just remember that sensible is the new sexy. Whereas life can be hell in high heels. That's the contest, Jeff.